Hey gang, welcome back to Man Time. Today I'm going to be working on the 020 steel chainsaw once again, and I'm going to attempt to put a new gasket on the fuel tank. You saw in the last video that it was leaking some gasoline. That is unacceptable. So I've got the chainsaw disassembled and I'm ready to make a new gasket. They had some gaskets online for about $35–40 bucks. You can get a gasket kit for this. But why not take it apart and make a gasket, right? Make a video about making a gasket. Because everybody needs a gasket at some point in their lives, and they need it now, and the part store's closed. So I'm going to show you what I use to make gaskets, and then how to make a gasket just from the roll of gasket material. How I do it, there's probably other videos on it, and lots of ways to do it. But this is a good project to show you and to do it on, and you know, it takes a little bit of time, a little bit of practice. You need an X-Acto knife. I'll bring you in here and show you what we're going to do. And also a little bit of a problem I had taking the gas tank apart on this steel 020. So let's jump into it. Welcome to Man Time. Here it is, gang. I have got the fuel tank separated. So this, you need to take that piece off. Well, maybe not. I had to take mine off because what happened was I got all the bolts out that I could see. There's one there, one there, one there, and then one under here. There's also one way down the rabbit hole there. And I sprayed some PB Blaster down there, dug around in there, and I couldn't see the screw. And so what I did was I took that plastic piece off from around here, and then I twisted this to get that screw to unscrew from here. So I didn't damage the threads or anything. We're fine there, and I did manage to get the screw out and got it cleaned up. It was just all gunked up with dirt and nasty stuff that had worked its way down there for however many years, and probably some dirt daubers that got down in there and made their little nests in there. So, but that's how you do it. If you've got that one stuck and you can't get it out for the life of you, you take off that plastic piece there that was around here, and then you can just rotate it off of there like that. So that worked out for me. Okay, let's see here. I've got my tool steel gasket surface cleaning tool that I've got to where it's not super sharp, but it is super flat. It's kind of like a dull chisel. So if you've got a nice big chisel that you don't mind having dull, that would be ideal for the same purpose that this serves. But you really don't want to use a razor blade, especially on a softer steel like this. A razor blade is just going to dig in there and probably leave you with more problems than you started with. But this will give you a nice flat surface. So we'll get the two mating surfaces all cleaned up here, and then I'll show you how to make a new gasket for it. It's amazing to me, they paint inside of gas tanks and transmissions sometimes. That just seems lazy to me. Alright, once you've got your mating surfaces all cleaned up here, you're going to want to take, what I use here is this rubber fiber sheet, and I use the thinnest one typically, especially for applications like this. This is 1/32 thick, part number 3157, rubber fiber sheet. You're going to want to take that, get that out here, and cut off a piece to about the size you're going to need. Cut it right there. Mark it. kind of rub it, get it warmed up, get it pliable. Get the bend out of it that's been in there for so long. Get it to lay flat for you. Alright, and then we'll refine it down bit by bit here. We aren't going to need a whole lot for this little project. We'll take and save that guy for later. Get some of the oils from your hands and things into that gasket. Okay, I think we're ready here. I've got my mating surface all cleaned up there. And what we're going to do to transfer that onto that is just use a little bit of oil. And what I use is some Zoom spout oil. And just coat it all over and kind of rub it in, making sure you've got a nice bead all the way around there. Alright, now we'll transfer. Yeah, we had a little bit of a low spot right there in that Z. So we'll have to kind of improvise in there. But that's pretty close. We'll get our X-Acto. And start cutting our gasket out. Okay, there's our gasket. Let's see how we did here. You see that little Z area. Looks like I can come in and maybe take a bit off of there, but let's put a couple screws in here and just kind of see where we're at. A little tight there, a little tight here. So I need to bring both of these holes out a little bit to make a little clearance so I don't have that popping up like that. You can see kind of right in there where kind of popped away there. So I'll open those holes up. Okay, and there we have it. Fresh new gasket for the gas tank. Let's get her back together and see how she holds up. Okay, and there we have our finished gas tank, minus a few little things that we need to touch up here. Like right here, there's a little piece of the gasket. We can cut that away to adjust our carburetor. Just kind of peel that out of the way. The only reason that gasket's there is so we have a nice flush surface, and this isn't being pulled and creating a stress point here, as it's tighter here than it is here. So we've got a nice even surface all the way around there. You can see where I've cut the gasket. It's actually a really good fit all the way around there, with just a little gasket sticking up. You can take your X-Acto and kind of come along here and trim off that excess if you're really worried about it. I'm not, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But yeah, like that there, if you're really worried about it. And I may on the bottom a little bit here. I've got a little bit of additional excess, and that's going to be sitting on the ground. So we'll just take our X-Acto knife right along the bottom of it there, kind of like a fillet knife. And now that's all trimmed up. Okay, I'm going to let that, I'm going to let the Loctite set up and cure overnight. But that is a new gasket on our 020 gas tank. And how long did it take? It is, I am about an hour and a half in. So if your time is worth more than $40 for an hour and a half, then you might want to consider buying, well, that was, hour and a half is, I guess, disassembly, reassembly. So it would, maybe making the gasket was 20 minutes of that. So I just saved myself $40 for 20 minutes. And you can do the same thing. Just get yourself some of this rubber fiber sheet and go to making a gasket. Thanks for joining me today on Man Time, guys. Get out there, fix something, make a gasket, watch some YouTube videos, watch some Man Time, and have some Man Time of your own. See you next time, guys.